Okay, so I am going to show you the stretches I do that help me out with my muscle condition. And I can't walk without them. And this is a lot of people who are sewing right now are dealing with a lot of back pain, or you're at home working and all of a sudden you're dealing with back pain you haven't dealt with before. A lot of that has to do with your performance muscles, which are really hard to stretch. They're the muscles on the inside, like literally in your butt and between, and so it's really hard to get in there and stretch them. It took me a long time and a lot of research to come down with this routine and get it where it works really well. Um, and there are certain stretches that are going to help out in specific areas. Now, the one that a lot of people deal with are these muscles right here. So, for a long time, I didn't even know that this muscle was just naturally tightened up all the time and causing me a lot of pain. And when this muscle tightens up, it'll pull on the hip, it'll pull on the back muscle of your thigh. It can pull all the way down into and make you feel like you have plantar fasciitis. So it's in that muscle can tighten up and cause you lots and lots of trouble. And then, of course, if any muscle tightens up for a long period of time, it's going to spread that tension. And other muscles that are trying to help are going to get tired as well. And so you'll start getting soreness up in here. I'm also going to be showing you some stretches that are going to help with the shoulder blades, because this is the one that a lot of people have problems with, having spots right here from leaning over while they're working in a computer. They don't realize that they are putting their muscles in a strenuous position. And then again, it's really hard to get to that muscle under the shoulder blade. So most of these muscle stretches are going to be on your back. A lot of times you think, oh, I'm going to touch my toes. That's going to help stretch everything. But actually, you do a lot better on your body and you're kinder to it if you do your stretches on your back. So, one of the first ones I do is I just raise my feet up into the air. And this also is an excellent just relaxation technique. If you take this position and put yourself up against a wall and just kind of just have your feet lying up against the wall for about 5 minutes like this, while you're breathing deeply, you're going to relax those muscles a lot. It actually does really good for everything because it'll also help. It's supposed to help with digestion and things like that as well. So if you're dealing with tightness in your stomach, doing this and just kind of relaxing works really well. So I do this and I just kind of get my muscles to start relaxing. And you'll know immediately, you'll feel tightness in the spots that are going on. You might feel tightness in your back. Make sure your shoulders are down up against the mat and you're in a relaxed position as much as possible. When you first get on the mat, you can straight up just lie down and do what's called the corpse pose, and that's just let your body relax. So one of the first stretches you want to do is you want to take and bend your leg like this, and you're going to pull it in the opposite direction, and this arm and head are going to go like this. And you're going to stretch that muscle and you'll feel the tension. And what I tell everyone is you want to feel tension, you don't want to feel straining. So it should feel like this good burn. And you want to do deep breaths. The the best recommendation is in through the nose and out through the mouth. When I stretch, my children sound like I breathe aggressively. So they get very annoyed when they hear me doing my stretches, but I'm releasing a lot of tension. So you're going to do that on the other side. Same thing. Grab this knee, pull it towards the ground. You're going to feel the stretch right here. You're going to feel it in that backside of your leg and buttock. And what that's doing is that's stretching that strap muscle. And when that strap muscle tightens up, it causes a whole lot of pain and in several different places. You're going to hold those stretches for about 30 seconds. I'm always moving my muscles around, trying to get them just to relax and chill. It's both a workout and a stretch at the same time. That's why I like yoga so much. So another one that you can do to help if your back in particular is really tight is just roll your knees like this and do it both directions. I usually do about 5 to 10 reps of those circles, one direction then another. And then you're going to do the same thing with each individual. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you notice, both my hands are on my knee. I discovered that if I keep my hands on my knee while I'm rotating, I'm actually going to stretch those muscles under my shoulder blades. And so that really helps as well. 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, breathe. I'm talking to you right now, so I'm not doing a lot of the breathing you need to do. And when you are breathing, there is a method to your breathing. Like when we did this stretch, you breathe in and then out. So every time I do that, I'll feel little things like pop and snap back into place. So you're going to do those stretches with both of those. Another one you can do is grab your feet. And that's going to stretch that inner thigh muscle. It's also going to help the strap muscle get a little relaxation. So you're going to do that. Another one you're going to do, this is real simple, and you have to be really careful with this stretch because you can strain your knees if you're not doing it right. But all you're going to do is take your knees and lay them like this, and then do the same thing. And these are those 30-second stretches. So you're going to turn it this way. And then you're going to turn it this way. I like this stretch because it does 2 different stretches at the same time. This leg is doing one stretch and this leg is doing another. And so when you switch them out, you get that equal amount of stretching. It saves you some time. So we're going to go back to that position I was talking about where you bring your legs up. This was the first one that I found that was amazing. So you're going to have your legs up. You're going to flatten out your feet. So it looks like you're holding, pushing up on the ceiling. You're going to take your hands and put them behind your neck for support. This is support. You're not pulling, you're not jugging. You want to make sure your shoulders are relaxed, because what we're doing is actually working out the lower half of our body. We're just supporting our neck, and it puts our spine in a position that helps add to that stretch. You're going to take one of your feet and you're going to lower it down, keeping your foot flexed in this perpendicular position. Now that one in particular is an amazing tummy tightener, especially for that lower abdomen, which is really hard to get to those muscles and tighten those muscles. And if those muscles are tightened or stronger, we want to strengthen them up. That's going to help you out a lot in supporting your body. One of the reasons muscles pull or strain is because they're doing all the work. And so we want to make sure that we're toned enough and our muscles are working together and helping each other support. So not one set of muscles is overworking because the other one's too weak. And so that'll do a lot for that. It also helps again with that digestion. If you're dealing with anything like that, actually doing that exercise really helps with digestion as well. So that one is really good. Those are the main ones I do on my back. We're going to do 2 other sets that all 3 of them work together to get all those muscles relaxed and tightened. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to get on our hands and our knees, and we're going to create a box. So we want our leg lined up with our hip. We want our arms lined up with our shoulders. This can get tricky to learn. We also want to splay out our hands as much as possible, because the more you splay out your hands, the more, again, we're distributing that pressure so that we're not going to hurt ourselves. Okay? And then we're just doing a cat stretch. We're just arching our back, and then this one does, to give you an idea, I'll do it this direction. What that's doing is that's going to stretch our spine and get those muscles working back and forth. Once you've done that stretch, you're going to make sure you're in that position, and you're going to put out one leg and then the opposite arm for your stretch. So that's going to go out straight. That's going to go out straight. You want to make sure this is lined up and this is lined up. This hip for me is better than my other one. Hold this position for about 30 seconds, or as long as you can. Work up to 30. And then you're going to bring it in. I like doing things in reps of 3. So once we have that done, we're now going to grab the foot and arch. what that stretch does is it, again, gets those muscles that don't normally get a good stretch and end up tightening and shortening in the wrong position. Now getting that foot stretch where you're grabbing your foot and you're stretching it, work up to it. If you can't reach it, get as close as you can. Start on the toes. But once you get there, it really helps. When you're in this position, another one that is real simple, you might be a little tired at this point, which is funny, don't think you're doing a lot, you're doing a lot. As you can go down into baby. And when you're down in this position, the goal is to stretch your arms and to get that shoulder blade to relax. You can even stretch into what I call a baby cobra. I don't know what it's called, but that stretch helps warm up my back for the next stretch. So when you're doing that, your next one that you're going to do is you're going to do upward and downward dog. I'm gonna flip around my mat. All right, let's see if we can get in the screen. Yeah. So, we're in this position. And then you can just come up, splay those hands, lift those feet, walk up so you can see my feet. And then you're just going to stretch. Again, this is getting those muscles that don't normally get a good stretch. And if you can get those back muscles to relax, your feet are going to hurt less. And your back is going to pull less. So I go from downward dog into a plank. And then I drop my plank. I usually only hold it for like 3 seconds. And then I arch and drop and then curl. When you do this, make sure your toes are pointed and down. And then I just go back into that position of downward dog. After you're done with that, I like to go back into baby. And just relax. breathing in and out very slowly and just relaxing does wonders for the body. And if you have time, I usually do these stretches on my lunch break. And so I've gotten it where it's about 20 minutes. So 20 minutes a day can keep the pain away. But you can go back into that lay down position and do the corpse pose and just relax. It really helps because now you've worked your body out. You're sweating a little and you're breathing. It's not going to be this rough. I've been talking instead of breathing deeply. When I usually do it, I don't feel winded. So those stretches are going to help. There's one more stretch that is not a novice stretch. It does a really good job. If you've done all these stretches and you're still dealing with the pain, do what's called the pigeon. So this one is tricky. You have to bring a foot forward like this. And you have to take the opposite leg. Let's see if I can get in the screen here good. And you're in this position. You want to make sure that you don't strain this knee. Your muscle stretch should be right here and on the upper part, the front part of the other thigh and into that hip pelvic bone. And that's what's giving us that really stubborn spot. So you can do this and you just stretch. I like playing around with this pose and I'll crawl down. And I push up. All in the effort just to get that muscle to stretch just a little bit more. And definitely do it to both legs, because like that knee stretch, you're doing two different stretches at the same time. Do that stretch to feel the pull in this part of your leg and the inside of your groin, right there. And when you're doing that, that's one leg is doing one stretch and the other leg is doing another. So one other thing I do to keep myself moving is I use KT tape. KT tape, it's a freaking lifesaver. Athletes use this and they're like, oh, well, I shouldn't use it unless I'm an athlete or I'm lifting or I'm doing things like that. Look, we wear our bodies out every day. If you stand on your feet every day doing any sort of retail, fast food, customer service job, and you're walking on hard tile all day, or you're just moving constantly, even if you have to stand in one position, standing is hard on the body. Your body is designed to move, not just stand there. That's why you even see people who ever see those cool documentaries and they show Aborigines and stuff, and they stand and they have one foot propped up almost like a flamingo. It's because you're trying to not tighten up those muscles. So standing all day is hard on the body. I use these when I have to work all day on my knees, and what it does, it's better for me. It's better than a knee brace. A knee brace immobilizes. You can't heal if something isn't moving, because when you go to immobilize something, you're causing muscle atrophy. And if you're causing muscle atrophy, once that tear or sprain is healed, now that area is super weak. That's why you have to go to physical therapy, is because the area is super weak and now you have to rebuild those muscles. And how quickly do you lose muscle? Crazy fast. I remember when I tore my Achilles tendon, it was like 3 days later when they took off the temporary cast and they were going to put me in something else, and my leg was a completely different size. You can look, I have huge leg muscles, and it was I was like, it was the craziest skinny looking thing I'd ever seen. 3 days, that's it, nothing. So if I'm just talking real quick about the KT tape, but I can go in through a full demo if anyone's interested and do that. I probably should tape myself. I do need to tape my back. This is the one I wanted to talk about specifically because of the back, is I wanted to talk about how 2 strips of this tape can save your day. So all you're going to do is put 2 strips on the side of your back, just along the spine. And it doesn't even need a lot of stretch. You just want to start down here in the buttocks area, and you want to tape as far as it goes up, keeping it close to but not on the spine. I usually give myself about 1 inch, but I've got real definition right there, so you can see spine and muscles. And then when you're applying it, you want to make sure your back is stretched. So you want to apply this in a stretched position. I usually do that baby pose and put that on. Now, I've been doing this a lot, and I can put on my own tape. So I can stretch, and I'll peel it off and I'll put it right on. But if you have someone that can help you, probably a little bit easier. You can get into that baby pose and then they can apply it. And you only, once you start using KT tape, you'll know these phrases. I should say kinesiology tape, because this brand right here is OK tape. This one right here is from that huge box that I bought that's like 40 yards, and that's Hampton. When you're purchasing KT tape, you want adhesion and longevity. Part of that comes with practice. Like, I can put on tape and I can get it last up to 2 weeks if I'm real careful with it. And part of that real careful is application. When you're putting it on, you want it on dry, clean skin. So if it's your first time applying it, wipe the area with alcohol, witch hazel, anything to get rid of that extra oil, and then put on the tape. Make sure you rub those ends when they're on your back. Rub them in. I also, if you don't have pre-cut tape, start with pre-cut tape. But if you don't have pre-cut tape, you want to put a curve so it causes those edges less likely to roll up. And it's real easy to use. Just follow the directions. If I always tell people when they first start, look up videos on how to apply KT tape. And my personal rule is follow the muscles and the ligaments. So when I'm putting it on, I'm paying attention to how those muscles lay and work, and then I'm putting on the tape. That's why the back is real easy, because the back goes in and it just goes straight up. The one I do around my knee is I put one here so that it gently cups the kneecap. And then I grab pieces, and why am I doing the black? There we go. So I put it like that, and it cups. And then I'm in a sitting position. I'll be sitting on the couch, and I'll have my leg at a 90-degree angle when I put on this piece right here. And so right now it looks like that. When I'm done, it'll shape differently when you stand up. So, but that's the goal of that one, is to grab these muscles right here and support them so that they can get stronger to hold up their knee on their own. So that's the stretches. That's the kinesiology tape. If y'all have any questions, just let me know. I've been, like I said, I'm a huge research junkie, and so that's why I do this, and I love to pass on information because no one should be in pain, and it can be really hard to see and understand what stretches are going to help. If you have anything particular you're dealing with, just ask me, and I'll see if I have knowledge on it, and if I don't, I will send you in the right direction. All right? So y'all have a great day.